good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And after the trade deadline, obviously there's still going to be talk and stuff like that about what happened during the trade deadline, and things are going to be let out like trade rumors and things along those lines. And there were some rumors let out about the Detroit Lions discussing for trades. We talked about Chris Harris last night, so let's talk about a new one in this video. Let's get this thing started. But we're talking about a running back in this video. Now, the Detroit Lions have had a lot of opportunities over the years to trade for really good players, but unfortunately, they just haven't been able to get the deal done. One that you may recognize is the Rob Gronkowski, right? The Detroit Lions were trying to trade for Rob Gronkowski at one point, and I'm pretty sure he threatened to retire if he was traded here, so I don't really want him anyways if that's going to be the case, but that was just an example. They also tried to trade for Khalil Mack, reportedly. They were offering a first and a third-round pick. They were outbid by Chicago. As we know, Chicago gave up a lot to go get Khalil Mack. So we actually tried to make that move as well, but that didn't happen. So the Detroit Lions last night, they tried to get Chris Harris. That didn't happen. Apparently, they didn't offer anything more than a third-round pick. And going into the trade deadline, Lions kind of knew what they were looking for and what they wanted to do and what they were willing to give up. For going into this knowing that they were getting calls from Darius Slay, and they had their mindset on what they wanted. Their price was very, very high, and if something blown them away, then they would have taken it, but otherwise, they weren't going to make a move with Darius Slay. That's apparently what the Detroit Lions were going into. That was their mindset. They also inquired about Kenyon Drake. Actually got traded for a conditional 6th-round pick, which could become a 5th-round pick by the Cardinals. So that happened. So the Detroit Lions are looking at it right now, and they're thinking, okay, well, there's a Melvin Gordon. Who else is out there? Well, Devonta Freeman. It's a guy that we talked about a very little bit. Probably should talk about him a little bit more. But Devonta Freeman, who is a 2-time Pro Bowler as well, can do a lot of things, right? He can catch the ball in the backfield, he can run, and he gives the Detroit Lions a really good mix, especially when you look at today, the Detroit Lions released Paul Perkins, and when you look at the running back core with Trey Carson, Ty Johnson, and J.D. McKissick, a lot of unproven players there. So Lions were maybe looking to go get another running back, and that guy was Devonta Freeman. So apparently the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons had heavy discussions over this trade talk.
Hey, Ben.
Hey.
See you.
Yeah.
They were really trying to get a deal done with the Atlanta Falcons for Freeman, but as we know, it obviously didn't happen. I guess this was one big offer the Detroit Lions were giving them. The Lions weren't able to get this deal done. So unfortunately, Detroit Lions tried, and they've tried over the years to get players, but I guess the price is too high, and they're just not willing to overspend for certain players. And we'll see how that works out, okay? We may look back and be like, dang, they really should have got a running back, but at the same time, I kind of respect what the Detroit Lions were doing. Even though they didn't make a move, I got to respect a little bit that he's not going to just sell out, like, hey, you know what? I need this guy, let's go get him, okay? So they have made offers. We'll see what happens. But right now, when you look at the Detroit Lions backfield, don't be surprised if the Detroit Lions look somewhere to go get another running back. When you look at the running back core and how light it is and how many unexperienced players there are, it wouldn't be surprising at all if the Detroit Lions try to get a free agent running back or something along those lines, maybe even a veteran. But as we know, the trade deadline has now passed, so they don't have an option to go trade for someone. Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell talked about this a little bit, saying those guys are a work in progress. We had a couple of nice runs early against the Giants. We are still moving it around, trying to find out who is going to be successful, but also give guys opportunities to make plays. I think I said it last week that we are going to have to learn Trey Carson and what Trey does well. We are in the process of doing that, giving them opportunities. We'll continue to hone in there, but we like the guys that we have in the locker room, like the skill sets that we have. Just have to kind of refine what's going on to be best for their roles. So that's what happened with the Detroit Lions. Obviously, they made no moves to go get a running back, and it was something that we talked about a lot. We thought that maybe Melvin Gordon would be that guy. Lions apparently tried to get Devonta Freeman. It didn't happen. Rashad Penny was the guy that was thrown out a lot. As we know, nothing happened. The Detroit Lions are going to sit with these running backs that they currently have. We'll see if they make a move in free agency to bring in another one, but it should be interesting to see what Darrell Bevell does and what the Lions do with their running back core and if they can finally get this going, because right now the Detroit Lions averaging 96.9 rushing yards per game, which is 22nd in the league, is just not that good, okay? It's just not good enough. They're also 26th in the league in yards per carry. So that's just not a good thing. We need that to improve. I mean, if you can imagine this, if you want me to put this in perspective, both of those stats are worse than last season, okay? Keep that in mind. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me hear in the comments below what you think we should do with the running back situation and what we should have done with the running back situation. And also, what do you think the Lions offered for Devonta Freeman? Because I couldn't really find out throughout any sources what they were actually willing to offer for him. So what do you guys think the Detroit Lions were going to be willing to offer for him? Thank you for watching, and I'm out.